1:30, 1:35. Okay.
Trying to go to 6 now, just switch 5
Well,
and 6 around?
we need to do these resolutions.
Okay.
Discussion about resolving a health, hugely significant health bill. And I believe the resolution coming out of the committee, out of the meeting was that the Buffalo County would authorize payment to the health provider of $22,000 to resolve the medical bills in the disputed claim. That amount to be paid to the Larson Trust account with the release signed by the provider, health provider, and all details to be resolved by the state's attorney. Is that your understanding,
Yes.
Commissioner?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'll make that motion.
You'll second, Rex?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
And thank you for the law office for doing all that. I know that you guys went above and beyond for that. So,
It's a significantly good resolution of
oh,
the problem.
Huge. And we'll know for sure by next meeting?
I would think so. I'll start creating paperwork.
Okay.
But
That's
the dollar
the
amount's not gonna change.
The numbers should not
correct?
change.
Because I have the check written and ready to
You
go.
could, yeah, no,
Okay.
provide that with us because I need that to get the release.
Okay.
All right.
Then we need a resolution on the highway department.
As I understand the highway department, the commission is going to authorize mowing and landscaping by one of the highway department employees to be paid from the courthouse upkeep fund at up to 8 hours a week. That would be, gentlemen, ladies, understood?
Yep, we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the resolution read by Steve Fox about mowing.
They make it complicated. I'll second that.
All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, Tanner, we're gonna move you up before the public input so we can get you out of here.
Thank you.
Fuel bids. Unleaded 345, ethanol 312, number 2 309.
Do I have a motion to accept that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. For the month, we've been blading, retrieving, pulling shoulders, kind of did a regrade. We had a bunch of rain in a short order out west, wrecked some culverts and stuff. Fixing those, haul clay, haul gravel. New blade showed up. Sprayer's ready to go. I'll get the rest of this in a second here. Just show you kind of what happened here. These might be in the wrong order, but we'll wing it. That's up north of Danita's house.
Is that a road
Was it? Yeah, it's a road.
at that corner?
Yeah, the second one.
Okay. We didn't put a culvert in there. We put a culvert.
There's 4 of them there.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
There's your lake. There's one of the culverts that washed out. This is up towards that property Bill Klein owns, clear at the northern end. Is there a special road you guys used to call it? I don't even know. But anyway, it's just a mile, 2 miles off of the county line. Up north, heads back west.
Get replaced.
Yeah, yep. There.
See.
And that's up by the Lee Road. That's one of them cements. This is down by Klein's further. Dam broke and went over the water, or went over the road. This is some of the stuff we've been doing, right? Why everybody's cussing me, but we went to the bottom of the ditch on the Shelby, or close to it, pulling it up, trying to narrow it just a little bit and get some of the gravel back. There's quite a little out there. Just, we need some rain on it, not 3 inches. this is probably a pretty good picture. This is a really good picture of what it looked like after the rain. It was not this good. But there's what it was after we bladed it and it dried out. So, I mean, it'll come around, so.
It wasn't bad today.
That's about it for that. There's an idea of what we've been doing. Okay, up on the Lee Road, let's see what's.
Chicken. Okay.
So, okay, yeah, on the Lee Road for that Rafe I have on there, I'm probably gonna adjust that Rafe grant a little bit and maybe take some more. The culverts are splitting and that was one of the holes in the road, so we had to get it replaced that time or right away. The other ones we tried moving and we were gonna reset. There's nothing in them. They're just cement. There's no steel in them or fencing or anything. And they're crumbling. So we can use that Rafe money on that road to replace all them, but it's gonna punch it up there by another 30,000 at least. But I do have grant money for that. So I guess in my opinion, we should keep moving forward.
Mhm.
So we can do that later, but
Will you get them done this summer?
yeah, no, I'm gonna probably start in the next month here or so, whenever I can get them in, then we'll get up there and get it finished and do that, and then they'll all be replaced. All the big ones will be replaced on there. There'll be little ones yet. So I just wanted to touch on that. And up there, the end of the table is a pavement striping. And it's through the state. There's a program where if you have an oil road, they help you stripe it. We don't have none. It's listed as a mile, but I talked to them. Anyway, his contract would be good for 15 years. They would help us give you a little bit of money to stripe it. So in the future, if we would ever have a oil road, they would help us stripe it.
Where's our mile at?
Right here is what I'm guessing this is what they're saying. But, and I'm guessing there may be a chance in the future we have a paved road. I have no idea. But we need to get into it now if we're gonna get into it, otherwise it'll be all on us. Not that it's a big dollar amount, but,
What do we have?
Okay,
so,
Tanner, this is officially a highway road. It ain't our county road.
It ain't
I know.
Okay.
But
that's
they're,
that's, I think what they listed on there.
yeah, but they
In the
have,
back of my mind, I know what's gonna happen, but
there's whispering going on that it will become ours.
Oh,
that's, it's in the back of my mind. Not
So
saying I'm right.
just trying to stay ahead of it.
It
So,
seems like a coincidence that all the miles line up and everything. So I guess if it was me, I guess we as well make resolutions to accept the paint striping and get whatever money they give you. Otherwise,
Okay, so it's not gonna cost us anything, we're just
No.
authorizing
No.
you to
yep,
do your thing.
yeah. And if that road becomes ours, then they'll give us X amount of
So
money.
under the Rafe money, you're saying you moved
Is that
for the
what it-
striping?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
It's not under Rafe.
it's underneath.
Pavement?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yep.
Okay,
Okay,
But I'll need that signed by you, and then I'll need the minutes to go along with it too.
Okay.
official, approved.
And the, step money, it was just under 90,000, 890 or something that we're gonna get this year. Should be coming shortly.
What do we do with that?
I spent
I know, but what do we spend it on?
everything. It just goes into the fund and
First of all, Anita,
plan on it.
Danita made a motion to accept the
striping.
striping. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Can I
Approved.
just give you a vote or can you fight that?
We don't know.
Tell you in a little bit. Okay, in a month or so, I might come up with something for like an occupancy right away form. I think we should have something in place because there's a lot of counties do it. I mean, they have to everything, whether it be fiber or water line or whatever, but there is a lot of irrigation that's gonna go in. and it's gonna go in the ditch. And there's no way of knowing that it's there unless we have something. So I'm gonna look at bringing something like that forward to you guys in the near future, where you just fill out a form. Some counties charge, some don't. Occupancy of the right of way. At least we know it's there. There's an idea.
They're putting the pipeline in the ditches in
Yep.
Yeah.
Not yet. And then I went to that,
And there's Central Dakota Time.
local emergency planning committee on that deal with Han County, because emergency manager or something, and Han County owns this because it was grant money from prior to us. But like some of the stuff they did, they just approved to buy a drone. They used them when that search was going on, and actually when that dam broke, Tommy was gonna bring his up, it was just too. So that's kind of the stuff they do, and that's one of the things they approve. Yes. I went around on Crisis Track and did all that, them culverts and all the washouts and the gravel and stuff off, and everything's listed at highs, but it's a real helpful tool. But it did come up with about 67,000 in damages that it did with culverts, which is high, but
We'll find out.
yeah,
Thank you.
that's it, I think.
Well, thank you very much and drive safe.
Thank you.
See you, Tara.
See ya.
Good luck.
Okay, public input. We've got Lee and Ellen on the honor roll.
There's a flyer, so what's that called right here? Maybe just hand that to them so they can understand.
All right, what I wanted to bring up, here some time ago, we had the posting out here for the honor wall, this honor wall thing out here, the big picture on the wall. And we were asking people that if they have their DD 214 discharge papers, send them in, because we want to update the plaque. It's, that was provided by, well,
Wayne and Bertha Knight.
that's right.
Gave that many, many years ago, and it needs to be updated.
Yep. So just as a reminder, that posting's still up, you know, for anyone to send their, and we'll update that, but we want to move forward and get that done because it needs to be, we've talked about it.
Needs to be updated.
Yep.
There's some names that were missed, and of course, many have passed away.
Yep.
So they have to be, I think plans are to have a new plaque. Isn't
Yeah.
that?
Tim Thomas sent me pictures of what Brill County has, and it's one of those wooden boards with the little engraved plates on it. And he said on theirs, they've got like 2 names per engraving.
Mhm.
So one that's, 12 inches wide by 20 inches high, I think he said he's got 100 and some names on there. So that might be something we do, but just to let everyone know, we'll move forward with that for all of the veterans.
Yes. And we just have to have them have their DD2 in, so that we know
Registered
their
here.
name.
Yep,
Registered here.
Yes.
yep.
Because some of them may be in Brew County, some of them could be in Hyde, you know?
And we would be able to see that through, we have a book that has the, I think
Yeah,
you've been
yeah.
there too. to see
If
that.
it's on
So-
file here, then that's what,
In the state of South Dakota.
in Buffalo County Courthouse.
I know, what I'm saying, sometimes they've registered their other places than Buffalo County.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
And they can register in multiple counties
Oh, yeah.
if they wanted to. I didn't realize that.
They
Tim Thomas.
probably don't either, yeah.
So there's some pictures here.
We do know it needs to be updated because there
Yeah.
are there's some issues that are coming up. And so
So do we need to do anything?
we probably don't, but since it's going to be part of the courthouse, I thought that you guys should be aware that maybe.
Okay.
And so he pulled something up that maybe would be nice
Yeah,
to Army, Navy, Air Force.
We can break it down, a plaque per branch or, the current one out here now is broken up by, the conflict. You got Vietnam, you got World War I and all of these. So we could do something similar, but these, and anybody can look at these if they like.
We just thought,
The
if
auxiliaries
you'd like to know,
involved.
that's
and-
what
Yeah.
And it may include
That's-
fundraising.
the
And that's what-
auxiliaries.
where are we getting funds?
Yeah,
Funds,
maybe
donations, you know,
Okay,
Grants
yeah,
type things.
that kind
And
of.
Tim
stuff.
can work on that stuff.
Yeah.
But we knew it needed to be
It's
updated,
involved.
and to start the process, it had to go through you guys first.
okay,
So
Thank you.
Something nice to put on the wall.
thank you.
Yep.
Okay, DOE, weed and pest, Lee.
Okay. Director of Equalization, we put, there's a video, every now and again you get asked about taxes and the rates and all this. There's a property tax video that a lot of counties have right on their website. I went and put that on ours as well. It's a short video. It's very good. It's called Property Tax 101, and it talks about what the assessors do. And I also have a printout that anybody can take a copy of, and this goes through the whole process from the assessment through, the treasurer sends out the tax notices, the appeal process. And there again, as far as the ag values, there's an equation that Pierre has that they use. And so what we do here in this office is just measure and put a value on, which brings me, there's a couple, as we start going through and doing assessments, we had, somebody got rid of some buildings, and one of those buildings was on the property card, didn't have a whole lot of value, but there's some adjustments that we'll take that off, because I think he burned them. And then we have a shed that was added, and let's see. Oh, the
do
voting
they-
house.
Do they come in and tell you that, or is this what you find out as
Yes.
you go out there?
Yep, I got a
Because,
call
you
the
were
other
talking
day.
about this occupancy form or whatever. To me, it'd kind of be the same if you're gonna add something.
Yeah, I
on.
think Tanner was talking about that for utilities and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No, but I mean, then we have a file of it.
exactly.
If they're gonna put it
Yep.
in a shed, I don't know, it wouldn't be an occupancy form, obviously. It'd be something that come in and tell you that they're adding or
So-
taking something out.
because we don't have,
Building permits.
building permits.
Don't you
it's-
send out, oh, pardon me.
It's all, on
Trust.
trust, I guess, but it,
I thought they used to send out every year, you'd get a deal in the mail to say if you built the building or not.
Yeah, and I'm catching wind of that too. If there is such a thing,
To
I'll find it.
everybody
Yep, it goes in like the assessment notice. or
it's been
something.
years and
since
years
that happened.
since that's,
So it's all what you hear and driving around and
By codified law, do you have to have that, something like what he's saying?
I
Is
can't
it a
answer
law?
that. I
Okay.
don't know, but I'll find out.
not if there's not a building permit deal, I don't believe so.
Just informational.
Yeah, right. Yep. For example, our voting house, that was always tax exempt because it was owned by a government entity. Well, now, the question needs to be asked, now it's being used. Does it have value and should it be added? So there's little projects like that we're working on, and then we're gonna start doing assessments. And you probably won't find me here much because I think we're a little behind.
Can you have calls forwarded from your office to your cell phone?
Already
Yeah,
has it.
already does.
Well, people said they can't get a hold of them. That's all I'm saying. If they are forwarded, that's
It
fine.
rings to both of them, or both of his phones.
I've stepped out, one day or the other day and left my cell phone in the office, and by the time I got back, I heard the phone ring and come back and missed the call, so.
But
it can
both of them
happen.
rang.
And there's some that, there's still telemarketer scam stuff.
Oh,
There's a salesman, and I have ignored half of his calls, it's just, so.
they're terrible.
That's crazy. So as far as DOE, I think
Rex, how
that,
many would you say have called and didn't get a hold of Lee? 1, 5, 10?
They get their business done.
Yeah,
They're still trying to get a hold of them.
it happens.
I'm just curious on
happens
how
all the time.
many
2 or 3.
within the last month?
I didn't take notes.
Okay.
But people say I can't
Go
get a
back to
hold
that
of it.
memory issue.
People,
Huh.
that happens all the time. That's why there's voicemail. You can't answer every call. You might be on the phone. If that's the case, it goes right to voicemail, so,
And I appreciate that you have voicemail. When I
Yep.
first started, they didn't have voicemail here.
or call forwarding, so.
Nope. that stuff.
Okay, weed and pest. All right, so I was over, I took an inventory of our chemical, got everything added up. And I've gotten in touch with Bill Walker. He's got some quotes here. What we told him, we pretty much want to do what we did last year with an exception of an enhanced kochia control on the shoulders. So what he's done, and I can share this with all of you, 3 drums of the Toradon is what we did last year. The 2,4-D, the platoon, 3 drums of that.
That's what I was told.
And for the kochia control, we can do an E2 herbicide.
A what?
E2, I looked up the label the other day. I didn't print it, but it's supposed to be real good at kochia up to like 6 inches, so.
Won't be long. now
Oh,
till it
boy.
warms up.
And then see, we pulled shoulders and some of, like you saw in the pictures, clear down to the bottom of the ditch. So that's gonna be a problem. So I think Bill's suggestion was to do the E2 first and then come back and we can put on the, for banding like we did last year. So what I have here, if we do this, I don't think we need to vote on it because it's in the budget. We want to spray
Right.
weeds. So the Toradon is like $4,500, $1,200 for the platoon, and the E2 is $1,500. So you add all that up. If Bill can invoice us by the end of the month, and he said he could, no problem, we can use the grant, and that should use up all the grant for
This year or
2024.
last year?
Last 2024.
Okay.
Yep.
And
So
this-
then,
Okay.
as we know how this flows, what we can do is order our chemical for the following year before the deadline for the 2025 grant.
No, that Toradon, if you spray it where they pulled the shoulders and there's nothing, Toradon, it's hard for like grass to grow, get started, let's say.
Okay.
Established grass is all right, but you spray with Toradon, you go plant grass in there, you ain't gonna get much of a stand.
Yeah, we don't want
So
that.
you have to consider that
Yep.
when you get to spray.
What I can do, and that's a good point, I'll mention that to Bill Walker. He's pretty sharp and he'll have a
No
plan.
areas you
Yep,
can use it.
yep,
Are we spraying ourselves this time?
yes,
We've
yes
got-
indeed.
We've got.
We got
sprayers,
the
yep.
new tank
Tanner
on.
said it
2 of
the
them,
other
right?
day.
Yep, Tanner, like he said before, the sprayer's ready to go, so we didn't get it mounted in the new truck yet, but
Okay.
the tank got replaced, and that was kind of the important part. And so I think we're all ready to go. And we do have one spot that we know of. There's a form, let's see, a notice, for anybody that don't want their ditches sprayed. And last year there was one, and this year there'll be one as well for the same spot. So that's Ellen's, and there's just a short spot that, and we can do
There's
that.
asparagus.
Yep, we can
And
do
you're putting
that.
it in
Absolutely.
paper,
It's a
right?
dumpy one.
Or a notice.
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think
I'll
we have to
follow
do
up
a
on that
notice.
and make sure that we do that right, so that, and, we
Put
could
it on
be,
the webpage.
and we're doing some other things, kind of enhance the webpage a little bit, like the DOE thing, the property tax 101 and stuff like that, so we can absolutely put that on there too. So with that, I think that's all I have,
Okay,
okay?
thank you.
You're
Deb?
I just gave Steve there was only one hospitalization, I don't think,
It's just a notice.
Yep.
Okay,
and I handed the treasurer auditor, there's some over here, and you guys have it, we match, so
yep, everything balanced.
that one should be good, and everybody has it out there, and I don't have another, so.
Okay, and open the bids for the pickup. That's kind of been taken care of.
Yeah, you want to speak to it just a little bit? Okay.
You put out bids that at that time we thought we were gonna meet on Tuesday, so we said the bids have to be here by Tuesday at some point. And so they should be in tomorrow instead of waiting another month. we're asking for people to buy these things from us. We've set a minimum, right? Or did we?
I don't think we
No,
set a
there was
minimum.
no minimum.
It's,
Okay, so
Reject like that rumor or something if they don't bid nothing.
if there's no bid,
Yeah, but my understanding, if we could accept or reject.
you could
Yeah.
accept or reject, okay? So we had talked about whether we should authorize the auditor to open the bids and contact you guys with the understanding that you could accept or reject them at that point tomorrow, and instead of waiting another month, they might withdraw.
Could Tanner just look at them?
Or maybe Tanner.
You need two sets, no matter if it's Tanner or if it's, doesn't matter.
Right.
Both
Two
of
people.
us, two people would have to open it, one person
Yeah.
can't open a bid.
But the question is, are you willing to do that, or do you think it's important to do that versus waiting a whole nother month?
no, I think you guys can make a motion, but I think if Tanner and Deb do it, that should be fine.
It could be authorized, so we don't have to have another meeting and spend 200 apiece.
Right, we won't have a meeting, but you might text them so they know what's
Yeah.
going on.
So if we, let's say we do it at 2:00,
Mhm.
and then Tanner could bring the bids over, we'll open them up. You know, I'm hoping he seals them and does what he's supposed to.
Right,
And so if he bring it over, two of us can open it, and then I could just take a snapshot of it all to you guys.
Oh, I thought they were supposed to come to you, but not.
Tanner made the
Yeah.
ad,
to you.
so,
They come back to you.
I read it last week, but I don't remember what it said.
so it can go to either place, it doesn't matter, as long as it's sealed.
Because that's what I told somebody to the auditor. You haven't got none, in other words.
There hasn't been a single one, you guys. So, but if there is, then Tanner and I'll open it. I'll take a snapshot of each of them, send it to you guys. And we'll just kind of make a decision from there if we think it's high enough, low enough, whatever. Unless you guys wanted to say it should be more than $100 or something, but I don't think that, we didn't set it out that
And
way.
if you make no decision, you can contact them about it and say, what do you think?
Okay.
All right,
okay,
they still should be open tomorrow.
yep.
So that two,
Tanner and I'll do it at 2. Yep.
So do we need to make a motion to that?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
right now, the bids are gonna be open at 2. It's just the commissioners aren't gonna be here to open them. So
Okay,
it's gonna be the auditor and the
okay.
highway superintendent opening.
24, 25 uniform alcoholic beverage license applications approval and signature.
We got, so everybody got their checks in. So 150 will stay here, 150 will go to the state. We have Lynn's, Ken's, and Shelby's. So they're all here. I'll just leave them here and then you're the one that would sign it
Do they all
at
need,
the end.
well, Kent, but do they need
Got two
resolutions from
resolutions,
them?
right?
Yep,
They're with
yeah. Yep, we have the resolutions. You guys want to see them? That's,
You haven't
and,
had any problems with any of the establishments?
the ones that were up.
I know that there was, over at the tribe, I think they went 20,000, sounds like maybe Lynn, one of them had to pay 20,000, but that's tribal side, so won't have to,
Pay 20,000 for their license?
Or through the tribe?
Yep, and then 10,000, I think, was it Shelby's had to do Lynn's?
Shelby's
So,
probably got a reduced one because they're tribal members. 5,000 to Shelby's, they're tribal members. G. Lynn's is fixing up their store nice.
that's the grocery store.
Yeah, that's because we're opening new buoys up in Burley.
Oh, really?
building a new building.
So Don, you can just
Grocery
save
store.
that, we'll sign it.
But on it all new.
All new from Buoys.
Okay,
Do you want to look at them? Okay, well then I'll move to approve.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Here, I gotta have to sign it, Rex, just,
Party.
all in favor? Okay, E911 services.
I have called, you guys asked if I would call the Huron, Mitchell, and Pierce. I called all of them. They kind of don't want to start a contract or do anything until you guys approve or want to go forward, because it takes quite a bit of time to put the contracts together. And so I wasn't sure if we wanted to talk more about this E911,
Did they talk about price at
That was
all,
all we
Deb?
wanted.
about what?
Price, what it would cost.
See, that's all we
Yeah.
wanna know.
I
The
sent
one
out,
wanted 90% or something of what we got.
right, didn't I? I sent it to you
Yeah.
guys, so I don't know.
Okay, that's,
What Mitchell want, that was here.
Here,
Mitchell.
would you hand that over to?
Or did they
Okay.
have
Hand it
a
over to.
money deal?
Like I said, it was only one. Mitchell's the only one that can't even put a price to it.
okay, that's,
The other
that,
Oh,
one-
they was
Yeah.
a 90% deal?
I think it was.
I
It's
was
like
thinking it was here.
first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year.
that's what I was trying to figure out.
Is that
It-
page there maybe? And so then I called further to find out who implements. So I called three or four it was actually four different auditors, just to find out who implements this type of stuff. Some say the highway, some say the DOE, some say the sheriff, so it's all over the gamut of,
The county
Where-
does their
The
own
sheriff is the
selection.
one that uses it the most, I would say, right? Give you thoughts on it, Wayne?
Well, and
I think
because
have you
I think
seen any of
you
these
said
when I
it.
say this though,
No.
when I say E911 though, it's a bigger thing than just the sheriff, because we have to put pins. Let's say a new house comes up, or somebody has to ensure that that address is pinned in there, so that if something happens and we have to send an ambulance that direction, they know exactly where to pin it and where it goes. Because when, I just give an example, Lee's son, something happened and that ended up over by the colony or something, it was just a
Yeah,
weird,
Fort Thompson took the
yeah.
call, but
and
The
so,
location
and so it's, the locations are way off.
That's the
And there's a
Google
lot of
thing.
work that needs to happen in regards to that. Fort Thompson, it's tough too, because some move just a little, shift over just a little bit, or, and so we're just asking everybody to do your 911s, make sure that we get a hold. And mostly we go through District 3 and go through that.
they do the mapping, or if somebody wants a new address, I send it on to District 3 and they assign the 911 address, and I send them an image of where they're gonna be,
Right,
and then they
And-
put the little dot on
and it
there.
doesn't cost us anything, does it?
No,
Right.
no.
Besides
We
time,
could get
besides
somebody to
time,
do
yeah.
it, but we're, we,
But I'm saying if somebody calls 911, ambulance, whatever, the sheriff is probably involved, right?
Pretty much most of the time, but like they said, there's a lot more that goes in.
Well, I know,
I'm the one who
uses
who uses it, but it's all the work that goes in behind that,
Yeah.
to get things right. That's involved too, like you say, the addressing,
GPS.
Oh, the GPS
Yeah.
is huge.
And that's part of what Deborah was talking about, when people say my packages are going to the wrong house. The guidance we get right now, there's nothing that can be done with that here. They just need to notify their post office of where they're at. And when UPS or Schwann's goes to a different house, that's kind of like a Google thing. All that's sent, there's third-party people that take these locations and use that.
We're probably getting 4 or 5 of those a
Oh,
week,
yeah, that's crazy.
where my package is in
Going
the wrong place. So
Well, yeah, the only thing I know, but I think it is considered a guy, and I'm right there by the highway. He says, "What's your address?" And I give it to him, and I said, "Just stop north of Gamda." "I'll just put it in." He wound up, he was past the county line.
That's kind of a
And I
Google
mean,
map
that's,
thing.
yeah.
That's, our place takes you, like she said, clear over by the colony somewhere.
But this enhanced 911 don't affect.
I don't think that has anything to do with,
we're hoping not, so.
gosh, yes. See, these maps is kind of different, that ambulance districts and
Well, that's because we have districts. Our 911 map for Buffalo County would be, like you said, our GPS and our addressing. I mean, I live right outside of Fort, but mine's 22787 335th Avenue or something. It sounds like I'm way out there, you know?
So when you're talking this PIN and emergency 911 goes by a different deal, huh?
I think.
The pinning is, what we're talking about is if they.
No address, District 3
Or
puts the
different
little dot
address,
on the
yeah.
map.
So,
But I
and,
mean, when the 911, the ambulance, let's say,
Yeah.
how do they find it?
well,
we've talked
that's
about
kind of a problem,
That-
because at
that's-
Fort Thompson, let's say 911 does come through, and it goes to Fort Thompson, right? And then Fort Thompson, they have no idea over here. Let's say if they wanted to find Dulce Sinky, let's just
Where
use
is
her.
the
It's
address?
a- Yeah,
You wouldn't go by the name. You could go
Right.
by the name, but the PIN, that doesn't necessarily mean that that person lives there. That's why the
Right.
address is important, because it's the address you want.
so to try, and then, so they would, so let's say the ambulance would be where then, if it's Dulce? So if they were going to say, let's go ahead and call an ambulance, and Fort Thompson is doing it, if she's way over here, then they have to try to figure out, are they doing Wessington Springs, right? Am I right on Wessington Springs, or is it Miller, or is it
Well,
Kimball?
they should be able to go by the, oh, you mean going by the name?
No,
Yeah.
by the address,
By the
because it's
address.
right,
It
I'm
should
saying
go-
that
it
right
should
there,
go-
she's in a
The
spot
notification should go to the closest ambulance.
But she's right in the middle
of
of,
all three.
All three.
That's why I used her as an example.
Right.
Because it's tough to figure some of these out.
The whole thing is, it's not enhanced.
Not yet.
Enhanced solves
Right.
a lot of the problems. So, you know, just in Buffalo County, we have people like in that area, some have a Gan Valley address, some have Miller, and some have Wessington Springs maybe. You know?
Yeah.
then
Well,
you
they
have
got
the
that
one
email
addresses too.
address.
If the dispatch gets that address, they're thinking Miller, okay? So you need to call Miller. Well, they needed the sheriff, it's not Miller, it's Buffalo County.
Mhm.
So that's some.
And then if
of
it
the
ends up
problems.
being an on-call, does it go to Brule? If
If it's a what?
if you're off duty at the time and then it would go to Brule County, right? They would transfer it to Brule.
My phone, if they call my phone, it's transferred to Rural County, yeah. Yeah, and then they have to figure it out.
Yep.
Where it's at, so it
It's
takes
important.
time, we get it done, but it's not as.
It's not an overnight deal.
well, see, and then one of the other problems, when I did some checking is, okay, so you've got the Clayton Kniplings and them, us, Ronnie, or Calvin, that were on the reservation. Are these E911s, how is that gonna affect everything?
It goes by your physical address,
You know,
okay? That's why they have to be pinned in there.
well, see, when I talked to, I can't think who I talked to. They said that plays into it though, whether they will dispatch because it's on the reservation. But it shouldn't. No, I agree with
Not on
you.
the 911,
So,
not on the 911.
My address is 6 miles away from my house. It's off the reservation, my mailbox, but my house is within the boundary of the reservation. I don't think they'd find me.
Has to go by your physical address, not your mail.
Yeah.
Is how it's supposed to be set up.
So your house would be pinned.
Yeah.
yeah,
But you can still have your physical address and your mailbox still be right at your physical address,
Still,
and which says Miller, you know,
Yeah.
without it being enhanced. If it's enhanced, you'll have your physical address. Wherever your house is at.
Can this enhanced ping go off your cell phone then?
once
Yes.
it's enhanced.
once it's enhanced.
See, that the software hasn't been downloaded.
Don't
We're trying to
tell
figure out all this little stuff
So
first.
what happens now, folks, is like, if a 911 comes into Fort Thompson, if we can at least get the cell phone number, then we can call and have a different agency ping it for us.
But here in Mitchell, they got the capabilities now, or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What it's
Mitchell
gonna
and,
cost us,
Mitchell, Huron, and Pierce.
Yeah,
right?
Mitchell, Huron, and
what it's
Pierre.
gonna cost us. And we
Yeah.
don't get-
Yeah, but
and
we're
we do
getting
not
that
get,
money.
what? We don't, how much do we get a month?
You
Well,
got
it was
one of those
going
things
up.
there?
It was like,
We're not, and because what we have in there now has been saved since the inception.
there's like 190,000 in,
140.
is it 100, like something, it seems like it's around,
860 is about a typical.
Year.
860 a month, and they're raising.
I don't think
that
it's
fee.
860.
yeah, yeah,
I think
because
it's
it's,
a year.
no, it's 10,000 or something, and it's gonna go up to 17,000, he told us that day.
But that one here in Mitchell said they take 90% of that money that we get every month, okay?
Okay.
And I don't know what the other one, it went by population.
They didn't, they
So
said they wouldn't give her.
each-
Yeah,
So we get a bill like this, or a statement. And so it goes like this. It's a monthly thing, about not $800 a month.
856.
And then Janice it comes through and Janice does it and then I put it back in, but here's all the receipts.
Can you find the
for a
one that said the 90%?
I don't, that might be at the front of that,
See, when we met,
Jason, yeah.
when we met with those guys at the DIA, remember the dispatch there?
So right there, it
And
says
the guy says, it goes by how many 911 calls you have.
No, next one.
Well, guess how many calls
Not
Buffalo
according to
County
whoever
gets
said
for
that.
911? No. How many calls does Buffalo County get for 911 a month?
Not very many.
Nope. Because you know what? We don't use 911. I know
What you're
the-
talking
I
about,
know
the-
what the PD number is. I know what the ambulance
Their
number is, so that they don't use
percentage on
911,
there.
or we don't.
Right, and I
So
find
it,
that a lot.
what the 911 is for
This is Aurora
people on the
County.
road or whatever. I mean, it's a convenience that
So
we're
it's their
trying to
next,
provide.
yeah. They just sent me whatever they could and then I did forward that to you guys.
I vaguely remember, I mean,
Yeah. But this is what a month looks like. What the next thing you have right there, no, that flip one over. That's what Janice and I see every month.
okay,
$850.
And then if you see the lines on there, how many lines and everything else that would be,
483 lines, wireless, 510
Landlines.
you can just
evidently.
have one of those if you wanted to use that way you got it.
So one wireless and landlines.
Yeah,
So that's like almost 1,000, 900 phones, 990.
And nobody needs to make a decision right now. I just
No.
think, I just wanna everybody be aware that we get more, $800, $900 every month that gets added in.
That should go to close to 2,000, I think, with the increase coming.
that's what I was thinking. He's, it's like,
But Danita's right, a lot of people just call up my number direct instead of 911, because
Majority of Buffalo County. I mean, I'm not saying that you guys don't use it,
it could be.
but there's like 2 or 3 that are called. And those are the people in the middle of winter or whatever it is that are out there. But we do have to get our houses pinged
Oh.
so that we can get those ambulances out there. So,
I think the reason people don't call it much is because they don't get very good service.
no, we've never used 911.
I can't remember if I did.
How
that.
many
We
times
haven't
have you called
had-
911?
Huh?
We
How many
haven't
times
had
have you
more
called
people
911?
would use it.
I was trying to think, but I think I have.
See?
They
that's
couldn't, didn't know where I
don't-
was at.
It's more like, yeah, no,
Just like
it's not
Wayne was
used that
saying.
much, so I hear you. So we're gonna pay these guys X amount every month for 2 or 3 calls?
I thought
We
he was
need to
in
get the
favor of
ping.
it at one time.
We need to get the houses, I mean, you can get the calls, but they still ain't gonna be able to find you.
that's why we need the enhanced.
Yep.
What was you
But
gonna say?
anyway,
Well, I was just saying, if we had enhanced, more people would use it.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Kind of, just gets that way because people talk and have had issues, and it's easier to call direct. Problem I have with a lot of that is then I don't have the support that an enhanced dispatcher gives you. If that call comes into them, then they are, say we need fire and ambulance both in the law. Okay, when I get that call, then I need to get going as law enforcement, but then I've also got to try to call and dispatch the ambulance and the fire and while I'm
So
driving.
what do we need to do? Do we just say, yep, we're gonna go and do this?
Well, I think you're doing the right thing by researching to see who would offer what, and if Fort Thompson could get enhanced, I wouldn't have any problem with doing that, but we already have agencies that are established and if they're willing to do it, look at the cost effectiveness of it. I think you're doing the right thing by trying to find out what they have to offer. I mean, my own gut feeling is Mitchell's has responded. To me, it'd be between Fort Thompson and Mitchell, whoever could, do it.
Well, at this point right now, Mitchell's the only one though that is up and running.
No. Here.
Well, no. Of the ones that have answered and given us
Yeah.
a price.
Sure.
that's
We
able
sat
to
with
do
the
the
Mitchell one for
enhanced
quite a
one,
while.
but we
She's-
don't have the physical addresses. That's what we need to get into the system, is those physical addresses.
Yeah.
Well, most of the addresses are on, aren't they?
They are, it just
Yeah.
needs updated.
Yep.
Just needs, it's a work in progress all the time. Like you said, there's people moving and.
Mhm. And it's not tracked by the individual, it's tracked by the physical address.
So then how do we go about getting the physical addresses? That's got to, I mean,
Basically, our director of equalization, when he goes out there and he sees something that hasn't been plotted, plots it and gets it plotted, put on.
I think pretty much everything.
That's what it, and the reason why I specify the homes is because over in Fort, we got those housing clusters, 50, 60 homes. Every one of those has a physical address.
Right.
Okay, so that it may have a housing number on it right now, but that's not their physical address. So it's teaching them guys too, that that's not what you put on for UPS to deliver. It's your physical address.
so are they building another one on, as you come in from,
North of Shelby's.
North Shelby's,
North of
there's,
Shelby's and south of Knott's Landing, we got 53 homes going in.
that's what I wondered when I went by there the other day.
So how close are they over there to having all the houses identified, their addresses?
I think we've got them, but they don't have them. And it's supposed
Who's
by
they?
the individuals, because people move in and out of those units. They don't stay long. I mean, they transfer up. So that's why it's important to know what your physical.
Who's we has them, the tribe?
No, we did them over here. District 3
Oh,
did all
okay.
that stuff.
Well, I would
That's what I
say,
said, we
Dan,
get about 3 to 5 a week, I would say.
Of address changes
Well,
or,
just wanting to confirm
I
or
don't know if there's that
wanting to.
many, if somebody, for example, there's a spot in Fort Thompson, there used to be a house, it was vacant. Somebody calls in, they're gonna put a house in there, they're moving in, and they ask for a 911 address. That's a prime example. I don't know about 3 a week, sometimes there's 4, sometimes there's none. But if they don't call me and ask for the address, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So they called and I did a image and sent it to District 3. And he said, yep, it's going between this name and this name, yep. So he went and put a 911 address on there and the little dot, sent it back to me. I email it to the person that called, here's your new address.
It's got to get lifted up to something that we haven't got yet. So
what I say, if 9 Enhanced can find you cell phone, because a lot of the like car wrecks and stuff aren't at people's houses, but if they can find your cell phone, I think that would be advantages
Yes,
that
I agree too.
enhance.
Yes, we agree. So what is the next step then? Do we say, let's go to Mitchell? Is that it?
I'd have to read through the things and see who said what, because I know both of them said something, give an idea, and I don't know, maybe Pierre did too, but
But
One of them said
Mitchell
it
was
was-
the only one that gave an amount.
90%,
Right.
they're the ones that said
Through
it.
some sheriff, and he said he would contract, he was at the sheriff's convention. And so I just told my, have fun with
Safety
convention, I'll talk to him.
conference,
So I don't know who that is, but
county newsletter.
none of them wanted to do the contract, rebuild it, and we are now blame them that it's ours, so.
When was the last time we talked to that 911 guy? That was over there.
Jason, when he was here
Last month, was it 2 months
2
ago?
months ago,
What did he tell us? He didn't say nothing to us though. What
we'll
else?
get quotes. I think we were to reach out. That's where we left off with that, I think.
Yeah,
So if we
that's
jumped
where we,
on- If we jumped on with a Mitchell or a Huron,
here we go.
that would fix some of the addressing problems, I think, would it
Okay.
not?
That's Han County. Back here, Aurora. What's this one?
When we talked to the gal at Mitchell, and she said this could take a lot of work to get it set up, you know, and they're gonna charge for that unless we do it here, so.
Well,
She said something about setting up boundaries, and they'd have to do this and that, I'm not, I'm
There's a lot
not
of
sure what all that
technical
stuff is,
they
yeah,
have to do.
yeah.
Yeah, Pierce says their contracts are set up through Chief Jones.
I suppose that's so if they call within Buffalo, if they, that, where the phone call comes, I suppose they gotta set up Buffalo County boundary lines, so
Yeah, so
However,
when they get, that call comes in there, they
they can
know
sense where it's
which
coming.
county it's coming from.
where does Wessington Springs go?
I think that's Huron.
Here in Miller,
So how
No,
far
I-
out does Davison come this way? So we skip over them guys. So we
White
do
Lake.
Aurora?
Stickney, Plankington is what it got right.
Okay.
Per capita charge. Aurora pays $11.55 per capita.
Where's Brew County?
Mitchell, I believe.
So,
Aurora.
Yeah.
It's Plankton. They go to Mitchell, yeah.
well, Brule-
Yeah.
Brule County goes to
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Per capita a year or per capita a month?
I guess, what the hell, what is the population?
Approximately 1,869 from the last census that was
So
done.
11, that'd be 18,000 plus 1,800, about 20,000.
But then when we started talking to the Mitchell, you know, they do have the questions about reservation, this, because you guys have a 911, reservation has a 911
Just,
dispatch center already, correct?
Yes.
So they were asking some questions about how does that work, and I don't know the answers to those. So, and so like what Sherry was saying, how does the boundary line, so those were questions that we just don't have answers to until you start digging in. I don't think you're gonna find the answers.
Can we put this on the agenda for next month?
Certainly.
Bring Tommy in from over
Certainly.
that way for the 911, and he can give us an update. I know that they're going to some kind of emergency thing that.
Okay.
Tribes.
Yeah.
we can play back the video from when Jason was here and get refreshed on what his comments were,
All right.
Okay.
what we decided that time.
See if Arlen has any input on it.
Arlen, yeah.
We kind of did bring him in, and I think he kind of Would rather
here
it be
that
on
day.
Lee, yeah, rather it
Didn't
Not
sound like,
beyond him.
it didn't sound like he was interested in taking it up. It's just-
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Financially,
comments or any input, you know, so you had more ideas.
Well, you gotta remember though, those guys, that whole district, what is it, Hand and Hyde and that, it was a whole different district.
No, we're in
This-
it.
Yeah, no, they're a different district than us. We're south
District
and
3.
they're.
For planning and
they're,
development.
well, not
Yeah, for planning and
But
development.
also for emergency
Yeah.
parts. His central part is Bismarck. Ours is, God, where does ours come from? For emergency management. Ours is different, because theirs is a whole, yeah,
Well, he was talking about Buffalo County was gonna join with theirs.
No,
can't.
you
Can't.
can't, because the boundaries are already drawn.
We
They're-
contract with them to do ours. That's why I wanted to, there's two different things here. That's
Yeah.
why the 911 wasn't really his cup of
No,
tea,
it
it was
ain't
more.
his thing, but
I did not know that either. I thought we were moved
Mm-mm.
into that district. That was the way you talked.
that's the way he talked.
That's
I
That's the way he
understand.
talked, but we never agreed to any of that stuff. That's why we're trying to work. And then that was our concern too, because I wanted Tommy to find out if we did move up that way, how would that affect those guys? I mean,
So-
that multi-jurisdiction
funds-
ship
Did the funds come out of their pool or the pool that we've been in
for who?
for the fire department radios and for the, when the group meets,
Yeah,
you vote on what projects you're gonna fund with the pool
Well,
of money.
I
'cause it
can't
comes
see
to a
him.
di-
Yeah,
It comes to a district, it doesn't come to each, when this started, it came to each county and we got to decide specifically here how we were gonna spend it.
Yep.
Now you have to meet with 8 counties
and then
and
they
all decide together who gets
divvy
what.
it up.
And I thought the money came from their pool, but evidently not.
I don't
Yes,
know
'cause
how,
he
I know he
spoke
said he
of that.
got radios and stuff this last go around. I
Right.
don't remember how,
I've
what
never
he
seen
told
any
us.
billing on my side.
I know.
Any bill.
Cause it was
And,
at
and
the
it was,
meeting.
that was, I think that was grant money,
Yeah, that was grant
grant
money.
money that
But
we
that's what I'm
purchased
saying,
it.
that pool of grant
And I
money
think
that
they
comes-
purchased it or Tommy purchased it, I don't remember, but we were the recipient.
Well, see, and then there was, Nome had, 15,000 for, fire departments or some darn thing too. And that was hopefully gonna be able to get some of that.
I mean, I'm glad he's on top of it.
Okay, let's move on to the primary election.
Okay, primary election will be June 4th, so the meeting won't be until the 6th, that's a Thursday. So the next meeting will be the 6th.
Great.
Then I'm gonna talk to Danita after this for 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, we're gonna have early election in Fort Thompson.
Required or have a.
And Danita's gonna kind of spearhead that side of it over there, so, and I got some stuff, we'll talk about it when we're done with the meeting and do that. And I will be sending you guys who is going to be in the positions and things like that here shortly. I have to, it's codified law shows, I have to send it to you guys to see it, so.
Okay.
So I will get that to you guys here shortly. So that's pretty much it on that one. I go on to the next one, to the landscaping surrounding Buffalo County Courthouse and Jail. We kind of already
We
talked about that. So if you guys could see around the courthouse where the thistles are starting to come up and stuff like that. So we started to look at possible options, and you guys already discussed and, right, we already
Yep.
said Joe and everything else, okay? So I think we're done with that one.
Executive session.
We don't need executive
Another one?
session.
You guys have the vouchers,
Yep, should have got an email with the vouchers.
and in the emails that I sent, Menards was not in there, but the newest ones that are sitting right there, I do have Menards in there. So
This year's sheet of paper that was here, he's got everything that's in that pile.
And here,
everything except for the transmittals.
the transmittals are right here. These are the ones we have to pay, like, electric.
It's the schools and things like that, so, and payroll.
Yeah, and payroll. But these are all on that
That's-
list, except for Menards.
Nope, and I got Menards added.
Oh, you did?
Yep,
Okay.
so everything should be. So then what happens, I take those and I hand type in to the newspaper. And so if you see an error in that, that's what you would see, why there's an error.
What did you find out?
Steve, did you find out anything about
Oh.
codified law?
That's all. 10 days, there's about 10 days, but they're all perceived to be unofficial minutes because there's no way to get official minutes because they haven't approved for a long time.
Thank you.
Nobody says that on them, but they are
Right.
unofficial minutes when they publish, okay? And so when we correct something like we did here today, that's shown in your new minutes, but we don't actually publish the old minutes with the correction in them.
Right.
So, yeah, we gotta do it within 10 days, but it's deemed unofficial by, whether the public recognizes that or not, they aren't official minutes yet. Okay?
So it officially becomes when they sign it the next month.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
official.
And
And then I'm not posted, as soon as it's official is when I put it into, I put it in the real book, right?
That's where, yeah.
So.
So then it's official only after we approve it. So everything before that is just, I'll call it tentative or unofficial or whatever you want to call it. We don't have to put those words on.
You'll be more careful when you're typing from now on.
How about you be more careful and look at them and let me know? Because
I just did.
I send it to you just as much as anything else, so I'm
just
asking the
did.
commissioners to look at it as well.
Can we kind of put that clarification in our minutes so that when they do read them, they
Oh,
can
I think
understand or what,
I think it's
I
just
mean,
knowing.
why are all these questions? I mean, it's kind of.
I think it's one person or maybe two people asking all the
Maybe they
questions.
ought to do the minutes.
So amen to that.
If you want to put anything in the end of the minutes, it says, there was discussion about the minutes that are published in the newspaper are deemed unofficial because they are not yet approved.
Thank you. I think that would, I mean, that's what I'm saying, just clarify.
Every time I put it
No,
in there?
Just this time,
Okay.
there was discussion about.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to.
That way.
To be honest, it's one person, but that's just okay.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, so, do I have a motion to accept the
Payment.
vouchers?
I'll move.
I'm gonna look at the transmittal or whatever you said, the payment.
All those last ones, yep.
There's quite a few that are confidential.
All right.
Amen to that, Sherry. Amen to that.
What's that?
Sherry said, thank God for the one person that's doing it. And I said, she is right.
Well, you looking at these vouchers today and then you're gonna print them and send them to them and they're supposed to remember what they saw.
I send them the minutes so I'll do these minutes in the next couple days. I send it to the commissioners. The commissioners choose not to look at it and choose not to say anything before I send it to the newspaper. Straight shooting. That's the commissioners
What are they
meeting.
supposed to compare it to, Deborah? They
They're look-
saw the voucher today and then you send them a figure in a week and they're supposed to remember, oh, that's not the figure I saw.
They don't have to remember if they review the vouchers today, if there's a problem. That's why we review them.
No,
Right.
there was a typo.
Right.
So
But if there's something different that's sent to them in a week, how are they supposed to remember and compare to what they saw today? I mean, who has that kind of a memory?
Even the paper could make the same mistake.
Well, you're right.
Okay, where do I sign? Did I just sign the wrong place?
no, I think you're in the right spot.
Where's the spot? What?
Oh.
My dad was a rural military.
Out here in the cemetery, Steve, out here in the cemetery.
Oh, cemetery has something? Okay, I don't want to steal anybody's wild there. It goes wild.
I have my own patch, I don't.
We have our own patch too, but there's always extra out there.
Okay, Deb, I signed this for Tanner too.
Okay.
You need to sign that
Yep.
and then a copy of the minutes you sent.
Yeah, and I won't get the minutes.
No.
Right away. Maybe I'll send it to 3 or 4 other people.
Okay, upcoming training courses and holidays.
We'll have a holiday coming up.
Yeah, Memorial Monday,
Yep. There is, I sent it to you guys,
Wednesday, there's
the South Central District, and I would like to go if I have somebody that can cover for me. We're not, so. We also have spring training workshops coming up, and those are May 15th and May 16th. I would like to go maybe on
Where-
15th.
were they,
Here?
Yeah.
Is there anything for commissioners or just auditors?
Commissioners would have gotten a separate email.
yeah, I haven't seen anything. This is auditors, treasurers, and register of deeds.
So. And I don't know if Tanner plans on going, he isn't here to say,
Yeah.
but, so,
Okay. Next commissioner meeting Thursday, June 6th, 1 PM, because we have to canvass the votes.
Okay, so before we finish whatever, how are we going to do the counting then? You're gonna go in and count them?
that's the week after, the hand count, is that what you're asking?
I'm asking because Thursday we certify them.
Thursday is certified, but you can still, if there's still problems going on, there's still some time left, I don't know what the time was.
There really isn't much on the ballot, is there?
No. I just want to get it down so that we know what the
Yeah.
process is.
Okay. Do I have a
So
motion?
Jim's gonna come down and do that or what?
It has to be odd numbers, so there'll probably be 3 or 5.
Oh, but I mean,
So
he's
Ellen's
organ-
gonna be one, Jim, and I have to come up with either 1 more or 3 more, 2 more, 3 more. So.
Do I have a motion to approve the vouchers?
I made one. We had no second. Somebody wanted to look.
Correct. Oh, or second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to adjourn.
One more,
Oh.
DOE district meeting is Tuesday, May 21st.
Okay,
I plan to do
Is that
it. Mitchell.
okay. Okay. All right, motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Hmm.